Okay, everybody. I want to tell you this story. We were just talking about the mega jackpot lottery that's popping off. Uh, Looks like it's going to be close to 900 million, close to $1 billion jackpot tomorrow night. And it reminded me of a time back in 2009, I want to say. I was with a bunch of my friends, and the jackpot was really big back then. And we're all having a couple cocktails, whatever, and we're having fun talking about what would you do if you won that much money. Oh, and we're all having fantastical stories or whatever. And then one of the ladies in the group said, "Well, this reminds me of a time, 5, 10 years ago when I was married to the multi-millionaire. She was did kind of the Anna Nicole Smith thing. She was the young hot chick that married the old millionaire guy, and he passed away, and she got most of his money. But anyway, so she told us a story about something that happened about 5 or 10 years before that, where they were all in the back of the 40-foot Sea Ray having cocktails, and there was the same thing. The jackpot was real big, and they were all having cocktails and thinking about what would they do, trading stories. What would you do if you won that much money? And one of them in the group turned to, I think his name was Bill, and said, "Hey, Bill, listen, this really happened to you. You built that company up and sold it for, so much money you won't even really tell us how much it is. 40, 60, 80 million dollars, and life-changing amount of money." And he says, "What would you have to say about all this? What would you do if you won the lottery business?" And Bill got very serious, and he said, "Listen, here's what you would do if you won the lottery. Here's my advice to you. Don't tell anybody a damn thing about the money. All right?" He says, "If I could have had it to do over, I would have never told any of my friends or family or anything about the money that I made when I sold that company and got the $80 million or whatever. I would have been plain old blue collar Bill, the same as always." And he says, maybe you got to tell them that you won some money in a lottery because, obviously, you're not going to be working your job, or, your life's going to be you're going to have some nice cars coming. You got to have some way to explain the changes that are going to happen. You're not going to be totally the same. But you can say, well, I won a little bit of money, but, it's really not that much. But we were able to get a loan on this new house or car or whatever it is. And he went on to talk about how after everybody found out that he had got all the money and he was now, $80 million or whatever, he says, "I became a piñata. Every time I walked into the room, everybody saw me as a piñata. They just wanted to bust me open, hoping to get some of that money. I wasn't the same old Bill anymore. Everybody saw me as a money bag. How can we get that money?" Everybody's scheming, right, people? His best friends and his family members were all making lawsuits against him, mumbo jumbo nonsense, just trying to get a little bit of that money. And, and he said, everywhere I go, people would treat me differently. And he said, I hated that. That's one thing I hated about getting rich. And he said, that's my advice to all of you. If you ever happen to fall into that kind of money, don't tell anybody anything about the money. You're your same old self that you were before, but maybe something happened to where you do have a little money. You got inheritance, something happened, and you got a little bit of money to explain why you got a little bit lifestyle choices. All right, so words of wisdom there from old Bill, right? What to do if you do get that $1 billion mega jackpot. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and barbecue grease. I'll see you soon.